Yo, 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 what up? Saturday night again. We back. It's the first for downs. This time though, it is the fantasy playoffs. We are finally here. Congrats to everybody to make it.
Yes, sir.
I am God, and the G stands for Gump because in my league, I did not make it. But if you need it, we got the plug as always. B. Scott, third wheel, drop the logo. What up, what up? It is week 15, fantasy playoffs. What is going on with your stinking asses? We are in the house. It's the first for downs. We got some serious shit going on here. As you know, we have a fantasy league that we do amongst each other. God did not make it this year. Sad to say, but I will be back next year with vengeance. In the week one, this week, the first round, we got the third wheel and B. Scott playing each other.
Yes,
Ain't
sir.
that something?
I backed in barely. I got some wins late in the season. They were back in.
Which terrible team.
Yeah.
I started out 6-0, man.
Terrible.
My team's been slapping all year. First place
I'm
all
just
year.
saying, who gonna win? Who gonna get it? Who gonna make to the next round? It's really gonna be something. B. Scott. I'm thinking that reign is coming to an end. It's dope to go into a season and dominate all year in first place, but one and done, that hurts. That hurts a little bit. That hurt more than the thumbnail. So
just ask the Patriots how that feels.
Especially to the Cripplers. You don't want to lose to the Cripplers, do you?
It's not going to happen. I have no doubt. It's not even close. I'm going to start Eli Manning. That's how confident I am.
You do know why they call them the Cripplers, right?
You got a little sweat off your brow there, sir. I'm telling
No.
You do know why they call that man's team the Cripplers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
I don't know, because I cripple players because they injure every single time I put them in there.
That's not it. It was because he beats women, so you don't want to get beat up like that. But you know what it is? It's the fantasy playoffs. It's the first four downs. I am God. In the house we got
Third wheel.
In the house we got
B. Scott.
Yeah, let's get into this. First game on the docket I'm looking at right now is the Chicago Bears versus the Green Bay Packers. Mitchell Trubisky has been playing pretty good in the last couple of weeks. Do you think that he has any shot going against these Green Bay Packers this week? What y'all think? Tail.
I think the Bears win. I think Green Bay's been off enough, and Bears defense has been solid all year. I have no faith in Aaron Rodgers at this point against that Chicago team.
What you got, B?
I got the Green Bay Packers winning, guaranteed at home. I mean, plain and simple, Chicago Bears defense just hasn't looked all that up to par with where everyone expected him to be. Mitch Trubisky's definitely a sit in this matchup. Green Bay's secondary's pretty good. Even though Trubisky's been kind of lighting it up the last few weeks, I'm definitely sitting him. And I'm sitting Rodgers on the other side of the ball. Chicago Bears haven't given up more than 2 touchdowns to a quarterback all year. So, and very similar numbers for the Green Bay Packers. So
you got the Packers winning, but you're sitting Rodgers, and
absolutely.
Do you like Jones?
You know what? I don't like Aaron Jones. In his history against Chicago Bears, he hasn't looked very good. And Jamal Williams has outplayed him every single game they played against Chicago. But, Aaron Jones has looked, don't get me wrong, I want to say leads the league in rushing touchdowns right now or close to it. So it's hard to sit him. But for me, I would be weary of this matchup for Aaron Jones. And I like Jamal Williams definitely in this matchup. On the flip side of the ball, Allen Robinson's been killing it over the last few weeks. And even Anthony Miller is putting together some fantasy production. And Montgomery, running back. So I like Green Bay in this game at home. Even with all the struggles on that offense, it's hard to pick against Green Bay.
Yeah, it's a crazy divisional game. You know what? They've been playing each other over the last couple seasons pretty well against each other. This is one of those games where Aaron Rodgers got hurt against Chicago last year. I remember, you know what I mean? He was out for extended amount of time. So these are two teams that know each other pretty well. And with Green Bay fighting for a seed and Chicago possibly fighting for a wild card, you know what I mean? We're going to see a lot of explosions. So, you know what? It can go any way in this one, but I think Green Bay and Matt LaFleur find a way to win. On the next bill, we got the Houston Texans at the Tennessee Titans. What we got going on here? You know what I'm saying? Is Derrick Henry going to blow this one up? Is Deshaun Watson going to come back and resurge this next game?
I think Tennessee defense really steps up. I think they're just going to really handle this one. I don't think Houston has seemed kind of suspect all year. They've exploded at certain points, and other points are just kind of weak. I don't see it. I think they go in there. Tennessee defense does what it does. Tannehill probably has a decent game. That's probably the guy that I want to start out of here. I'm definitely nervous to start Watson or Hopkins on this one.
So you like Tennessee?
I like Tennessee. I like Tennessee on this one. I think Hopkins is probably going to get shut down on this one.
This is my thing with Houston. Every single time we think they start to look suspect, they flat out come out and light somebody up and put up 50 points.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So
yes.
I think this is going to be one of those games.
That's true.
And I really think, Derrick Henry's dealing with a hamstring, did not practice all week long. Not one snap during practice. Don't get me wrong. He's going to be out there to play. Coach has already said it. So, but you got to be wary with that a little bit.
They're paying Deion Lewis a lot of money. Maybe he shows up this week. He's been a top waiver ad so far on the week. So maybe he does get that kind of love. They are paying him that money, like I said. And, hopefully they can get a running. Hopefully they can get a running game going against the Texans. They have been pretty stout against it, but they do miss assignments. This is one of those games that I think, especially coming off a loss, you know what I mean, against Denver. I think they're gonna try to light them up, you know what I mean. But Tennessee is a very good football team. They've been, you know what I'm saying, playing pretty good against their opponents all year. You know what I mean. At home, it's gonna be tough, but I got a feeling that Houston does play pretty well in a low scoring game and gets the win.
Is there any coincidence that they got rid of Mariota and brought in Tannehill, and now all of a sudden they're just a better team?
No coincidence at all.
Well, that just shows how poor Mariota's play is, period. But, I mean, Ryan Tannehill has shown flashes of good play with Miami, but they've never had the talent that, the Tennessee Titans have. Defensively, offensively, it's crazy. I like A.J. Brown in this matchup, but it's hard-pressed to see back-to-back explosions, but Adam Humphries is ruled out, so definitely I would like A.J. Brown in my flex. He's a guy, like I said, that can put up tons of fantasy points, so I'm sitting both tight ends on each side of the ball, and I like the Houston Texans, even though Tennessee at home, you know what I mean, they're probably favored in this game. I'm taking the Texans.
Yeah, me too. I got the Texans. The third wheel for some reason has
Texans
the Titans
by 3. Titans by 3.
You said it right the first time.
No.
Anyway, we're going to the New England Patriots at the Cincinnati Bengals, and we're going to roll through this one real quick because I see no love for the Cincinnati Bengals. Not even Joe Mixon. Not even whoever they had on their all-time all-star team. I think the Patriots rolling this one. Do y'all have something to say about this?
New England's a 10-point favorite, man. I mean, it's just...
They should be a 100-point favorite.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm starting Mixon because just the consistency over the last few weeks, the amount of carries he's going to get, even possibly in garbage time in this game if it gets out of hand. The flip side of the ball, I'm probably even sitting Brady in this matchup. Cincinnati's secondary has been pretty solid. They haven't allowed a lot of huge games to the quarterback all year, and I feel like New England's going to get out early anyway, and I think Brady's just going to have a kind of a slow down game, 200 passing yards, maybe 2 touchdowns. That's what you're hoping to get.
Grind it out,
20 points at best. So Brady's kind of a sit to me, but of course, I mean, you're not picking against New England, so
yeah, never. This next game could end kind of terribly for the Seahawks. We got the Carolina Panthers. Now the Panthers have been playing terrible. Don't get me wrong, but the Seahawks have been missing assignments on their defense, and I just don't know what's going on with them. Hopefully they get it together. But ultimately, I got Seattle winning this game. I think CMC going to go crazy, and they ain't going to be able to stop him.
Oh, yeah. CMC's going to get his money. I think he's going to get his money. But as far as a win, no. Carolina's nowhere there. Yeah. That's about it. Seattle's going to roll.
We're all on Seattle. Christian McCaffrey's going to get fantasy points regardless. I worry about fatigue, honestly. He's slowed down over the last few weeks compared to what he was doing in the beginning of the season, and he's carrying a huge load. I mean, he's carrying the entire team.
Double load.
DJ Moore is actually really quietly killing it this year. 78 receptions, 1,000 yards.
Yeah, I mean, extremely consistent.
Absolutely. Solid. So in this matchup, definitely Christian McCaffrey, you're not sitting him. I like DJ Moore. Maybe even Ian Thomas. Seattle's been susceptible to tight end position, and Carolina's at home. Seattle side of the ball. Chris Carson should feast, period. 23 touchdowns. Carolina's giving up on the ground. And, I mean, they're letting grandmas walk in on them. You know what I mean? It's like it doesn't even matter. So, I like Seattle. Chris Carson's going to dominate. I like Lockett, and I like Metcalf in this game to have pretty solid days, nothing crazy. And Wilson will probably have another, decent performance, nothing crazy, but Seattle definitely gets it done.
Yeah, I agree there. This next matchup is riddled with injury alert. I mean, is Jameis playing? We know Mike Evans is already out. Bling Blau, can he do his thing? I'm starting to like Bling Blau for them Lions. You know what I'm saying? I might have to buy a jersey. I'm trying to tell you, this game is crazy. It's got a 45.5 over and under, and Tampa Bay is the favorite in this game. Actually, you know what I'm saying, about 4.5. So you know what? It's crazy. Justin Watson looked good in Evans' absence. You know what I'm saying? I think this is a game. I don't know though. Who's starting that quarterback? You know what I mean? This can go crazy. It's going to be hard. If you're in the playoffs right now, I wouldn't bank on any of these players. You know what I mean? At all.
I'd probably stay away from anybody who wasn't.
Any defense, any kicker, any wide receiver, any running back.
Yes.
You know what? This is not a game that you really want to be putting your first round on the line for. You know what I mean? But ultimately, that front seven for Tampa is still good, and I'm gonna take them going to Detroit with that win.
Yeah, no, I pretty much agree. I'm pretty much staying away from this game completely.
Yeah, so I've read that Jameis Winston should be playing. He's got a hairline fracture in his non-throwing hand, and it's not going to require surgery. It's just going to be rest time. So I'm firing up Winston against Detroit Lions defense that has been just destroyed over the last few weeks. And then on top of that, Chris Godwin should feast.
Well, Godwin's going to do his thing. He's like, I don't know, he should automatically be.
Of course. But, that's where you were talking about. It's hard to trust whether it's going to be Justin Watson or it's going to be Rashard Perriman. Perriman's already been the man on 3 wide receiver sets that's gotten a little bit of love, so you expect him to step in. But yeah, you saw last week. I like Watson. You know what I mean? He really turned it up and caught some nice passes. So.
Sleeper alert! It can very well be O.J. Howard.
Absolutely, O.J. Howard is a guaranteed start in this matchup. On the flip side of the ball, Detroit Lions. I like Kenny Galladay. He's, the most consistent option over there. If you want to take a chance with Danny Amendola, you can. I wouldn't, personally. And I worry about David Blau because that Tampa front, you know what I mean? You saw last week in Minnesota, Danielle Hunter had 3 sacks on him. Minnesota destroyed him on that line. So I worry about that effect, having it go into Tampa, because even though Tampa's secondary is bad, if he can't get the ball off in time, there's not much he can do. So he's a sit to me. All the running backs are a sit to me, even though I like Ronald Jones in this matchup. Who knows who's going to get the goal line carries? Whoever's going to get the goal line carries is going to be who you want, because Detroit's been bad against the running back position. 3rd most fantasy points in the league. So, but you can't trust it. So this is the playoffs. You can't take a risk like that. I'm sitting all the running backs, but I definitely got Tampa on the road.
Yeah, I think we all there with that. Another very similar situation with Miami Dolphins and the New York Giants. We don't know if Devontae Parker's playing. We don't know if Albert Wilson's playing. So you might be looking at Albert Hearns as the number 1 wide receiver over there. What is going on in this game? I do not know, but I'm taking the New York Football Giants. What do you have, B. Scott?
Yeah, I like the Giants also. And, I had a lot of stock in Ryan Fitzpatrick for the playoffs. He's got some cakewalk matchups, but without any pass catchers, it's a lot looking like Carson Wentz, where it's like, man, if you got no one to throw to, how can you trust them? So Devontae Parker's questionable for this game. It looks like he got a full participant practice today, Friday. So if Parker goes, Albert Wilson looks like he might be going too. If all his receivers are healthy, I like it. I like the Miami Dolphins on the side to score some points. Now, my only worry about this game is the weather. Realistically, it's in New York, so you got to watch the weather, and that's going to play a huge factor on who you're going to be starting. But the other side of the ball, Eli Manning's getting his first start back at home. I think he lights up Miami personally, man. Realistically, I like Darius Slayton in this matchup. He should hopefully continue his strong rookie campaign. And I kind of like Sterling Shepard too. Golden Tate, I can't really trust yet. Evan Ingram's been ruled out. So I got to go with the home team, the New York Giants.
I'm probably going to go with the Giants too. And I actually like Miami. I think Fitzmagic might actually make a little bit of something happen, but I don't know. I think he's missing too many pieces to even try to make a play here. So I
think the biggest piece missing is that he plays for the Miami Dolphins, and I think the New York Football Giants.
That's a bad situation. Yes,
I'm telling you, this game's gonna be it's gonna be terrible to watch. It sucks, but you know what? We got the Giants, and we rolling with that. Another divisional matchup. We got Philly on the road, Wentz on the road. No Alshon, no nothing. but I think they get it done here. You know what I mean? And Washington, they look like the worst team in football. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? Their defensive line is pretty good. They're not elite, but you know what? I still think the Eagles take it to them. You know what I mean? I think the Eagles have enough in place to get the job done. A big sleeper in this one, Arcega-Whiteside. I like him. I've liked that kid since he came out in the draft. You know what I mean? And then
if he's healthy.
Yeah, but I heard he may be starting in that game. So you know what I mean. I seen another interesting waiver wire pickup. His name was B. Scott. What you got on Boston Scott?
Boston Scott. You know, I'm hard pressed to even put him in your lineup. Maybe a flex worthy guy, but Miles Sanders still going to lead that backfield in touches. So he also missed a lot of time in that back end of that game with cramping, is what they called it. So.
Yeah, maybe drank a little bit too much the night before.
Maybe. I don't know. I like Miles Sanders in this game. I like both tight ends, Ertz and Goddard. Carson Wentz, I have a don't know. Don't know if you're going to start him because without pass catchers, how can you trust it? The Redskins, it's a divisional matchup too, so you never know what's going to happen. You know, the Redskins are at home.
Yeah. And the Redskins at home.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. Dwayne Haskins has not looked good at all, but it's hard-pressed to see where the problems are. Is it really just him? Is it the offensive line? You know what I mean? So I like Terry McLaurin as the only start on the Redskins for me. Philly's got the worst secondary in the league, and realistically, even in garbage time, I think McLaurin, you saw last week, make that amazing catch for a touchdown. I mean, I think he finds the end zone again. So I would definitely be firing him up.
Yeah, I think Philly wins this one pretty much just because they still technically, at this point in time, have probably the better QB. That's not to say it won't switch over time, but right now, Wentz is still a better QB than Haskins. So
yeah, just look back at Monday Night Football.
That's all.
The Philly team looked absolutely horrible, and they put it on in the second half, but they looked terrible.
Yeah,
so
that's ugly. I don't want nothing to do with any
exactly. That's why I'm hard pressed to choose. But Philly's, they're trying to shoot for a playoff berth. They get it done here.
Yeah, I agree. You know what? Over to a bigger over and under of the week. One of the bigger ones. Vegas got a 49, and the Cleveland Browns are favored to go into Arizona and beat the Cardinals. Now, we know Arizona's defense is trash. You know what I mean? Can we see Odell blow up in this game finally? Can we see Kareem Hunt really get some love in the pass game? Do we see Nick Chubb just blowing them up on the ground? What's going to happen on the other side of the ball? I don't know. Third Wheel, what you got?
I think Cleveland probably wins this game, but for fantasy purposes, I'm trying to run Larry Fitzgerald.
I would highly suggest staying away from that. I would go to the other side and start Christian Kirk, in my opinion. Okay. He's just been more consistent with more targets.
All right.
The Cleveland Browns have really struggled against running quarterbacks, realistically, on the season. Josh Allen had 2 touchdowns on the ground. Lamar Jackson's lit him up on the ground. Any quarterback that's had mobile, Russell Wilson had a scoring touchdown. So any mobile quarterback has really put it on the ground and put it in the end zone. And I see Kyler Murray, having a very similar game. Nothing great, nothing outstanding, but I think Kyler Murray definitely is a start for me this week. Beginning of the week, just looking at the matchups, I didn't think so, but after diving deeper, I like Kyler Murray. I like Cleveland on the road, though. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
OBJ still a sit because his floor is too low for me to take a chance. This is week 15 in the playoffs. I cannot take 3 to 5 points.
Not that fucking
exactly. So, and his boom this year has not been super boom. So I would rather take a chance on a guy like A.J. Brown or a guy like Darius Slayton, where their booms are higher than OBJ, and their floors are even a little bit higher, even though their floors are low. So OBJ still a sit to me. I like Baker in this matchup. Number one team giving up points to the quarterback position is the Arizona Cardinals. So fire up Baker, fire up Landry, Chubb and Hunt all day. If you have no tight end, you want to take a dart throw, and Njoku, man, the Cardinals are absolutely horrible. He didn't play a lot of snaps last week, but the Cardinals, man, they're that bad against the tight end that I would take a chance on him. And I even like Cleveland D. Kyler Murray's the number 1 sack quarterback in the league this year, coming off 3 interception games. So Cleveland all day.
Yeah, I got Cleveland all day. And it's crazy. This vibe is so different, man. You know what? It felt like 1992 in this motherfucker. We's drinking gin, and the third wheel has a tall can of Old English right now. I'm talking about 8-Ball, which brings us to,
why are you spilling the beans right now? Like
it just is that, you know what I'm saying? That's what it is, and it also is. It is the first word downs. I am God. In the house we got
B. Scott. Third wheel.
That ain't me. I look at Chris and he's just like.
Which brings us to Oaktown. We are in Oaktown. The Oakland Raiders are hosting the Jacksonville Jaguars. It's going to be a tough game. This one should fly a little bit. You know what I'm saying? That the Jacksonville defense has been beat up all year. Oakland is known to put up some points. They've been struggling as of late. But this is a game. This is the last game in Oaktown. Who wins this one? Can Carr go out there and blow them up? Can Chucky go out there and do his thing? I don't know. We seen last year in that last game against the Denver Broncos, which they thought that was the last game, you know what I mean? And Denver was pretty hot at that point with Philip Lindsay running all over the place. Oakland brought it in the mud, in the rain, you know what I'm saying?
Stadium's going to be rocking. Stadium's going to be rocking. That's going to happen. So, I mean, can that push them forward? I don't know. Jacksonville's been up and down like all year, really. But the defense of Jacksonville is really pretty good. I think, as a Raiders fan, it sucks to say this, but I think the Jags steal that nonsense from home.
Oakland is going to destroy the Jacksonville Jaguars.
That's
plain and simple. Like. And last game at home, man, it's going to be loud. It's going to be ridiculous. You know, there's not many starts I have on the Oakland side of the ball because I don't know who's going to happen. I think Waller gets a lot of touchdowns. You know what I'm saying? I think he might even get 2 touchdowns. The Jacksonville Jaguars have given up like 8-9 touchdowns to tight end this year, and especially more recently. So I like Darren Waller to find the end zone in this one. Foster Moreau got put on IR, which sucks because he always ends up finding a touchdown. But, yeah, I like the Oakland Raiders, man. Josh Jacobs is healthy. He's supposed to be playing. So
really? Is he really healthy?
He's healthy enough to play, man, which is ridiculous because he got scratched last week out of nowhere for no reason.
Hey, man, I don't care about none of the fantasy implications. I don't care about who sits or starts in this one. All I want to see is Oakland go home with that win. We'll go home with that win.
I would love
man, those fans deserve it. And you know what? Farewell to the Raiders, but they deserve it over there in that stadium. You know what I mean? I'm giving this game to Oakland all day. I don't care. I'll bet $1,000 on these motherfuckers. It don't matter. Oakland all day long.
Yep.
Moving on, we have Minnesota Vikings going to Los Angeles to play the Chargers. This is so inconsistent. You don't know who's going to win this game. I feel like at this point in their careers, Phillip Rivers and Kirk Cousins are the same quarterback.
Who knows?
It really is really ridiculous. You know what I mean? I really don't know who to pick in this one. It's a even over and over at 45. So anybody can take this game, but I'm giving the edge to Minnesota Vikings in this one.
Minnesota Vikings in LA?
Yeah.
It's all nice and warm.
That's all right.
I don't think so. Taking Minnesota. I'm taking Minnesota easily. I think Minnesota handles their business. And I know I'm afraid of Phillip Rivers. Believe me, I'm afraid of Phillip Rivers. But I don't think so.
The Chargers just got done mollywhopping Jacksonville in Jacksonville. Flat out ridiculous.
Yeah, but they're not Minnesota.
Up. They're not. But I'll tell you what, Minnesota's secondary is one of the worst in the league, to be real. Even with all the talent that they got, it's still bad. Horrible. So can Phillip Rivers find enough time to throw the football? That's probably ultimately what's going to make the difference in the game.
Yes.
Danielle Hunter, youngest player to 50 career sacks, had 3 sacks last week. I want to say he's got 14 on the season. And he's just so consistent getting after the quarterback. So for me, I like Minnesota in this game just because I think that line for the Chargers is not very good. Jacksonville hasn't had a pass rush all season, realistically. So, you know, if you give Phillip Rivers enough time, he will make the plays down the field.
Yes, he will.
But is there going to be enough time? I don't know. I like Minnesota in this game. Diggs is kind of a sit to me. I would sit Rudolph with Thielen being back and healthy, practicing full, ready to go. So I like Thielen. I like Cooks. I even like Cousins because Cousins has been consistent. Even in bad matchups, he's put up fantasy points.
You got to think of that playoff push. They're going to fight. You know what I'm saying? Their defense, they're pretty good. But, I mean, you know what? The offense is there. You know what I'm saying? They're firepower enough. And I like Melvin Gordon in the last month. You know what I'm saying? He has been pretty good. But am I betting on what it comes down to for me in this game is am I going to really bet on Phillip Rivers to win this football game?
Pretty much.
Yeah, I'm not going to do it.
And he will do it sometimes, though. That's the problem.
That's what I'm saying. Sometimes I don't want to put my money on him.
Yeah,
so, you know, I got Dalvin Cook behind Daniel Hunter and Everson Griffin in that line. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we got the Vikes.
Yeah, we're all on the Vikings.
If you think about an explosive game, these two teams have been, you know what, pretty mediocre. You know what I'm saying? They've been challenged all season. They've had their highs, they've had their lows. The LA Rams and the Dallas Cowboys. What can we say about this game?
Firepower.
Dallas cannot beat anybody over 500. Meanwhile, you got the LA Rams who can't beat a really good team either. But they have firepower on both offenses. Who do you got in this game? Third wheel.
It's kind of difficult because if you actually look at it, the LA Rams defense have actually been better than people give them credit for, just because their offense has been so terrible they can't really win games. But I'm going to go Dallas at home, probably by about like 3-4 points. That's about it.
What about you, B?
I can't take Dallas. They haven't beat even a close, good football team. And the Rams, man, the last 2 weeks have been nothing short of outstanding.
Yeah, they've been looking like the 2017.
That means they're hyped up. They're ready for the letdown.
18 Rams.
Jared Goff, 400 passing yards 2 weeks ago against Arizona Cardinals. You know, he took it to the Seattle Seahawks just last week. Man, the Rams are looking legit, in my opinion. They're making that last push effort to get into the playoffs, and I think it's going to work out, man. I really like the Rams in this matchup. The Dallas Cowboys just have so much not in sync. They just haven't played. They played pretty good on all aspects of the football, but not great. And the LA Rams right now, their offense is absolutely lighting it up. So,
you know, like we've been saying it all the time. If you have Amari Cooper, you know it, and you've been listening to us, you know it. He plays on 50% of his games. His production comes over 50% of his games.
Yeah.
This week you're gonna see Jalen Ramsey though. You know what I mean? I could see Gallup getting in the end zone and all that. You know what I'm saying? Jason Witten getting in the end zone, Ezekiel doing this thing. But you know what? Golf has been doing his thing, like you said. You know what I mean? Brandon Cooks, like we've also been saying, stretches that field out when he's there. That team is ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? When he's not there, that team is terrible. So I just got, you know what? And even Todd Gurley had some longer runs last week that, you know what I mean? Maybe them limiting his production in the season has, you know what I'm saying, really paid off. You know what I mean? He kind of looked like Todd Gurley in the last game.
Like a little healthy?
Yeah,
he looked a little healthy?
Yeah. I mean, even, you know what I'm saying, against Seattle, like even his strides looked a little bit better. He looked a little bit better. Like he wanted to do more, but he probably shouldn't. You know what I mean? So I'm taking the LA Rams in this one. I'm sorry. I know, Jason Garrett, your job is on the line. Walmart is always hiring. But, hey, you know, you can also go to Amazon. I mean, you don't want to do that.
No,
but,
you don't want to do that.
I mean, I'm telling you, you'll find something somewhere. We got the Rams, and that's what it is.
Nah, Jason Garrett, I think, would be a decent, college coach. Honestly. I think he could do some things.
He's a good football coach. He's not the worst in the league. Come on.
Well, he has the worst owner in the league who calls the plays. So that's different. Those Niners, they beat them Saints. This week, they host the Atlanta Falcons. Now, B. Scott, you were the only one last week that picked the San Francisco 49ers, and it came down to a kick. Don't get it fucked up. But they did win. They are dominant. They are elite. Does Atlanta have any chance in this football game?
Absolutely not. It's impossible. Even though the Niners, you know, they lost a few pieces on that defense to injury. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter. They're going to be at home. Mm-hmm. That line's still healthy. Matt Ryan struggled all year with getting pressured. You know what I mean? So, and he's missing Calvin Ridley. So for me, I like Julio Jones in the matchup. No Richard Sherman. I'm hoping he gets 15 targets like he has in the past. You know, but it hasn't happened this season yet. And without Calvin Ridley, you think they just throw him the ball every single time. But and I like Austin Hooper realistically in garbage time. Even though the Niners are pretty good against tight end position, this game could get out of hand pretty fast. Would it be a shock if the Atlanta Falcons score some points? No. But no one's taken Jimmy G's side at all, and he's been playing pretty damn good football, period. It's plain and simple. Is he Super Bowl winning quarterback? Not yet, but we'll see.
Yeah.
You know, and at the end of the day, if it happens, it happens. But he's playing good football. No one wants to give him credit at all. When he needs to get shit done, he gets it done.
Hey, man, he has nothing but playmakers around him. That's what's crazy about it. Is he a winning quarterback? We don't know. But that team plays for him, and they have put the pieces around him for him to succeed. So, the Niners, period. Hashtag Niners.
Yes, Niners win this game. But right now, looking at the money line, it's like Niners by 10. And I would take Atlanta on that one.
Niners are going to win by 100. It's gonna be like 50-0. But
I will take Atlanta just to cover.
you could take that chance, but we're all in the Niners.
But another game that we got going on in the Sunday night game that nobody wants to talk about is a defensive matchup against the Buffalo Bills versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, Josh Allen's been amazing. We don't call that man white chocolate for no reason. He does what he does. The Duck is pretty much a beast.
Solid.
He's solid. You know what I mean? He is the all-time leading passer at his school in his league, which is not D1, but hey, you know what it is. It is what it is. As I look at my team, if I was in the playoffs right now, I would not be gambling on this game at all. No wide receivers. The only person I would probably start is Devin Singletary and Josh Allen in this game, and that's it. Pittsburgh Steelers, they're going to put some Buffalo's going to put some points on them. We know that. This is not going to be a very high-scoring game at all. Ultimately, I got Buffalo winning this game.
Yeah, you know what? I'm on Buffalo too, and absolutely. If I'm a fantasy guru, obviously, and looking to start some players, I'm staying away from this game altogether. There's not a player in this game that I would feel comfortable starting. This is going to be a very defensive matchup. Both defenses within the top 5, you know what I mean? And even Singletary, Pittsburgh Steelers not allowed a 100-yard rusher, I don't think, on the season, period. On top of that, they haven't given up very many touchdowns on the ground, so I'm kind of staying away from Singletary. Maybe in PPR, you can get some love as a flex guy, but that's about it. Outside of that, James Conner's fully healthy. Buffalo Bills have been a little susceptible on the ground, so if I had to take a chance, I would put Conner as a flex guy too. But that's it. I wouldn't play anybody else. I like Buffalo in this matchup, though.
Yeah, I like Buffalo too as well. But I got guys on my team like Singletary and John Brown, and I just look at them and just go, I don't know what the hell I'm going to do with them. So, Buffalo to win, I believe, is probably going to be just a mucked up game, probably a low scoring game as well. I really don't want too many people in this game.
Yeah, we got Buffalo as a lock. We got two dome teams on the Monday Night Football game. We got the Colts and the New Orleans Saints battling it out. The Saints just came off a terrible loss that they should have won by, and they won by a field goal. They lost by a field goal. So I think they come back with a vengeance in this game. I think they're going to play their whole little souls out. Who that? And that is the New Orleans Saints. Who you got, B?
Yeah, Saints all day. It's not even a question. Come on. The Colts, they've played some okay football, but they've been riddled with injuries.
Yeah.
Realistically, their biggest one, Andrew Luck, out.
Oh,
retired.
Yeah.
So I like New Orleans in this game. Don't get me wrong. I would still probably fire up Jack Doyle. I like Zach Pascal. And on top of that, T.Y. Hilton, if he plays, I'm sitting him because you don't know what you're going to get from him. He hasn't played in 6 weeks, and he's questionable. Absolutely. You saw when he came back the first time, it's a calf injury that he's already re-aggravated. So I would be hard-pressed if he even plays to start him at all. If you want to take a chance on Brissett, I get it, but the lack of pass catchers I'm worried about. Marlon Mack's a sit. New Orleans has been good against the run. On the flip side of the ball, I got Drew Brees as lock top 3 quarterback this week. Last week, no one had him as a lock number 1
possibly
against the Niners. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He's realistically my number 1 scoring quarterback. I had Lamar Jackson at 2, and Lamar Jackson put up 46 points. So, who knows if Brees can get up there, but, I like him high, and, the Saints should roll in this matchup.
Yeah, I think the Saints are definitely still going to win this game and roll this matchup. But I think Jacoby Brissett, even with T.Y. Hilton stepping on the field, I think he gives them the opportunity to distract. And I think Brissett actually does pretty good in this game. Garbage time. Garbage money. Everybody loves garbage money.
Well, you know what it is. That about wraps it up. It is the first round. It is week 15. It is the first round downs in the house. We got
B. Scott.
In the house, we got
Third Wheel.
And G.O.D. Tune in next week. We got shit going on. You know what I'm saying? Week 16. We going to do it big. It's the last show. If you like this video, turn the thumb blue, subscribe, hit that bell. You know what it is. We out.